ça en 18 minutes.
On a Friday in Casablanca, Morocco, primary school students are learning to make matzah in preparation for upcoming Passover. But the students aren't all Jewish. The Alliance Israelite Universelle is a unique institution, a Jewish school in the Arab world, where Jews and Muslims have learned side by side for more than 150 years. Silvio Nana is the director of the Alliance's primary school.
The children learn 4 languages: French, Hebrew, Arabic, and English. The Muslim students learn Hebrew and they learn Jewish history. The Muslim children leave the class for everything that is considered religious teaching, like the Torah, and the Arabic teacher takes them for extra lessons.
The curriculum covers the other academic basics, like math and science. And by integrating students of different religions, they hope to instill lessons that go beyond numbers and textbooks, says high school director Shimon Cohen.
In Morocco, historically, Jews and Muslims lived as neighbors, in a proximity that was extremely peaceful. They shared not only celebrations, but also traditions, and at the same time, food. I think the school should perpetuate this.
But the school's demographics are swiftly changing, and this shift mirrors a worrying trend in Morocco's Jewish community.
In the beginning, there were at most 15% Muslim students. As years went by, the number of Muslims increased. Why? Very simply, the numbers of Jews decreased. Little by little, we arrived at 50-50. Then the numbers decreased again, and now we're at 20% Jews compared with 80% Muslims.
Morocco is 99% Muslim, but Jews lived here even before the founding of Islam, and their numbers grew with each wave of persecution in Europe. At its peak in the 1940s, Morocco's Jewish population exceeded 250,000. But after the founding of Israel in 1948, most of Morocco's Jews went to build new lives there. These days, it's a steady trickle of immigration, says Rabbi Hazout Israel.
Everything depends on the youth. What is especially difficult today is that our own children, when they reach the age of 18 and finish their diploma, leave Morocco to continue their studies either in France, the United States, Canada, or Israel, and they make their lives elsewhere.
God willing, the Jewish community will be here, for the next, 2,000 years, but who knows?
American Vanessa Paloma is studying the Jewish community in Morocco for her PhD. She began to see the urgency of preserving the sights, sounds, and memories of this unique culture.
I've been collecting these oral histories and recording the music for the last 7.5 years. So it's interviews with people, just what do you do, how has your life been, where were you born, just to kind of get a pulse on the Jewish experience in Morocco. So I'm not just interested in how was it 80 years ago when everybody was still here. It's not that. It's also today there's somebody that's moving away from Morocco, and I interview them, why are you leaving?
Today she's in the Casablanca Medina to interview one of the last kosher butchers who has served both Jews and Muslims for 65 years. She knows she's in a race against time.
There's been a couple of cases where their relative has passed away and I have this recording. And so I'm able to actually give them a recording of this interview. And that is amazing to be able to do that.
The greatest concentration of Morocco's remaining 4,000 Jews is here in the seaside city of Casablanca. In addition to the schools, there are 17 synagogues and a community center that cares for the sick and elderly. Here, elderly Moroccan Jews, like Sarah Azagouri, have access to housing and quality medical care. Azagouri used to live in the north of the country, but was left alone when her children moved abroad. Now she is integrated with the small Casablanca community. Despite the worrying demographic shift, the small Jewish community's position in a Muslim-majority country is fairly secure. It's the only country in the Arab world where Jews enjoy equal rights and privileges, and where the state funds Jewish schools. One of the Moroccan king's closest advisors is Jewish.
The monarchy is completely supportive of the Jewish community, completely. It doesn't mean that there aren't elements of extremism or people that are actually anti-Semitic, or many people that do anti-Israel things in an anti-Semitic way, right? That does exist in Morocco, but it's not really coming from the government at all.
Perhaps most notable is Morocco's Jewish court system. Here, cases on domestic issues within the Jewish community are heard by Jewish judges. It's the only one of its kind outside Israel. Rabbi Joseph Israel is the president of the Jewish court. All the court's judges are rabbis.
In other countries, it's the common law, the law of the country, that governs affairs. For us, for personal statutes, it's Hebrew law, not civil laws, not the family law that is applied to Muslims.
There have been attacks against the Jewish community here. In 2003, domestic terrorists attacked several Jewish sites in Casablanca, including a restaurant and a community center. During last summer's Gaza war, a rabbi was beaten in the street by attackers angry with Israel. But Shimon Cohen maintains these incidents were out of character for Morocco.
In spite of everything, I think they benefit from a benevolence of Muslims toward them. They are respected, they are protected, they are very close. If extremism does not come from elsewhere, then the Jews will continue to live in peace.
Morocco has also established the only Jewish history museum in the Islamic world. Zor Rahahil, herself a Muslim, is the curator. Today, she is hosting an American tour group.
The question we are asked every time is, were the Jews persecuted in Morocco? Did we chase the Jews out of Morocco? Why did they leave? To that I say history is not black and white. Just because the Jews were persecuted elsewhere does not mean they were persecuted in Morocco.
Rahahil emphasizes this space is not just for tourists or Jews. It is for all Moroccans.
Today, there is a significant interest among Moroccan students of Muslim faith that has to do with this part of Moroccan history, the Jewish part. Today, we have a mission. The Jews left, but they left a void. Today, all Moroccans are in the process of filling that void and explaining why the Jews left. Even though they left, we must preserve that presence.
Back at the Alliance School, students sing the Moroccan national anthem, Jews side by side with Muslims. They preserve the hope that even as Morocco's Jews leave, this unique coexistence will endure. This is Zoe Lake in Casablanca, Morocco.